Number 1. Warning rejected. Before the fields were touched, before anything crawled into cloth or sleep, the refusal was already complete. Musa came with signs, and Pharaoh's people answered him with the hardness already fixed in their chests. In Surah Al-A'raf they say, "Whatever sign you bring us to bewitch us with, we will not believe in you." The warning reached them while the pillars were still standing, while food still sat in storage, while a man could hear the truth and keep his life arranged the way he liked it. That was the moment when the matter could still have turned. A man hears the warning in open view, among faces that still look secure, and he keeps his chin raised because nothing around him seems broken yet. His house is still his house. His table is still his table. His people are still numerous. From the outside, refusal costs him nothing. But that answer does more than reject a messenger. It locks the door before the pressure enters. The sign is treated like something that can be waited out, mocked, and outlived. They do not fall because they lacked warning. They fall with the warning already in their ears. The ground beneath them does not open first. Their mouths open first. Their denial stands in public before their humiliation does. So the scene begins there, not with collapse but with a court, a warning, and a man holding his neck stiff while the first chance to bow passes in front of him. Number 2. Crops overrun. Then the breach enters provision. Allah sends what Surah Al-A'raf names plainly among the signs against them: locusts. The attack does not begin with banners falling or palaces burning. It begins where people count on tomorrow. Fields that promised grain are stripped down. Green turns ragged. What was meant to be gathered is eaten where it stands, and what was stored for safety no longer feels safe. A man runs his hands over what is left, because the loss is now something he can touch. He bends beside a split grain sack and pulls it upright as if the torn side can still be forced closed. Dust and fragments cling to the fabric. The storehouse, which should have smelled of provision, now carries the sharp, empty smell of waste. Outside, the field looks combed raw. Stalks stand thin and bitten back. The work of a season is reduced in front of him faster than anger can answer it. Food goes first. A people may still dress well, still speak loudly, still pretend the center is holding. But once provision is breached, the lie has already started to rot. Hunger begins its work long before famine is named. Every missing mouthful points back to the same refusal that answered the warning with pride. The man keeps the sack in his arms a moment longer, but the grain is gone, the field behind him is stripped, and the opening in the cloth will not close. Number 3. Cloth breach. After the field, the breach moves closer. Surah Al-A'raf names Kumal among the signs sent against them. The verse does not leave the pressure outside in crops and ground. It comes inward into the level of cloth skin bedding and the private spaces where a person expects relief from the day. What was once only around them is now on them. A man reaches for his collar and digs his fingers into the seam at his neck. He pulls the cloth away, then lets it fall back, then scratches again. Rest turns narrow. Garments no longer sit on the body as a comfort. Fabric becomes suspect. The place where he should have been left alone with himself is now crowded by irritation he cannot reason with and cannot command away. What touched grain now touches daily life at the edge of the skin. The disturbance follows him into the unseen corners of the day. He cannot stand in dignity for long when his own clothing keeps turning against his calm. He cannot pretend the breach is far away when it rises with him, lies down with him, and meets him at the seam of what he wears. The refusal spoken in public starts collecting its cost in private. He lifts his hand again to his neck, drags his nails along the collar seam, and finds no ease there. Number 4, rest breach. Then Surah Al-Araf names another sign, frogs. What still looked livable by daylight stops feeling clean or quiet after dark. A man reaches toward a water jar and jerks his hand back. Something living sits inside the vessel he was about to lift to his mouth. He steps across a wet floor and hears movement where stillness should have been. He pulls back a blanket and loses the small trust a bed is supposed to give. The breach is no longer in the field and no longer only at the collar. It has entered the places that keep a household running. Water vessels are no longer simple vessels. Corners are no longer empty. Sleep is no longer a closed door at the end of the day. What should have restored the body now meets it first. A people can endure noise in the street for a time. They start to break when the disturbance reaches the room, the jar, the floor, the bed. Quran 7:133 places the frogs among the signs sent against them, and the sign does not stay at the city edge waiting to be noticed. It spreads through the ordinary motions of living until a man cannot drink, walk, or lie down without meeting it again. He does not need a herald now to tell him pressure has entered his life. His own hand tells him when it recoils from the jar. He leaves the vessel where it is, water untouched, the floor glistening under him, and the bed behind him, no place of rest. Number 5, Broken Plea. At that point their mouths change. Under pressure they do not speak like men in control. Quran 7:134 says that when the punishment fell upon them they said, O Musa, call upon your Lord for us by what he has promised you. If you remove this punishment from us, we will surely believe you, and we will send the children of Israel with you. The same people who answered the warning with refusal now speak with open hands. A man who kept his neck stiff now lifts both palms. The field has been stripped. Cloth has become hostile. Water and sleep have turned against him. He no longer talks as if the signs can be outlasted. He wants the pressure gone. He names obedience while the pressure is on him. He speaks toward relief, not toward surrender. Then Quran 7:135 says that when Allah removed the punishment from them until a term they were to reach, they broke their word. The plea rises quickly, and the vow dies quickly. As soon as the grip loosens, the old stance returns. The same mouth that begged rehardens. The same back that bent straightens away from the command it named. The opening came while the damage was still reversible, and they used it to return to the same refusal. It does not take long. The man lowers his hands. He steps away from the promise he made in fear. The dust settles a little. The noise thins. And he turns his back as if the days of pressure were already far behind him. Number 6. Mass advance. Later, another people come with a different kind of certainty. Their confidence does not sit in a full storehouse or a quiet room. It moves in rank, weight, and forward force. Surah Al-Fil opens with the people of the elephant, and their plan is aimed at the sacred house. From the ground it looks formidable. An elephant's foot strikes the earth. Lines of men move behind it. Dust rises with the column. Weapons, bodies, and momentum all point in one direction, and the valley ahead holds the house they mean to reach. A man walks with the column and keeps his eyes fixed forward. He does not look for weakness above him. He looks at the bodies beside him, the size before him, the order around him. That is the kind of power a man can count. It makes noise. It occupies space. It convinces the people inside it that arrival is only a matter of time. Quran 105:1 asks, "Have you not seen how your Lord dealt with the companions of the elephant?" Then verse 2 says, "Did he not make their plan go astray?" The plan exists before its ruin appears. It is organized, deliberate, and moving. On the ground it looks like the stronger side has already declared the ending. The house stands ahead. The column keeps advancing. Men inside it borrow certainty from its size and keep walking. The elephant rank enters the valley toward the sacred house, the line still holding, the dust still rising, and every face ahead still turned toward conquest. Number 7. Sky Strike. When the answer comes, it does not rise from the valley floor. Quran 105:3-4 says Allah sent against them birds in flocks, striking them with stones of baked clay. The column that had been reading the ground, measuring distance, and trusting weight now faces a sky that has opened over it. Men who came forward in order do not command what descends on them. The elephant, the ranks, the forward plan, none of it reaches high enough to stop what is coming down. A man in the line hears the change before he understands it. Heads turn upward, shadows move across the light. He lifts his face and sees the sky crossed with birds, not one or two but flocks. Then his body moves on fear before thought. He throws an arm over his face and hunches his shoulders, too late to make a shelter of himself. What he trusted was beside him and in front of him. The force that finds him is above him. The line does not hold. A man cannot march through stones that keep coming from overhead. He cannot keep formation by staring harder at the road. The valley that looked like a path to conquest becomes a place where men look up instead of ahead, shield their faces instead of gripping certainty, and lose the line they thought would carry them to the house. He raises his forearm across his eyes, but the sky is already full of wings, and the first stones are already falling. Number 8. Eaten straw. Then the Quran gives the last image. In Surah Al-Fil, verse 5, Allah says He made them like eaten straw, not a triumphant return, not a proud ruin, but remains. What entered the valley with noise, bodies, and weight is left broken down in public view. The army that meant to be remembered for arrival is remembered for what was left of it on the ground. A man who marched in with the column now stands among what the strike has done. He looks down where rank had been. The order is gone. The forward movement is gone. Around him lie torn remains, scattered and emptied of force, like stalks after they have been chewed through and cast aside. Nothing in that field of wreckage carries the dignity the march promised. The open ground keeps the evidence where every eye can read it. That is how the scene closes, not with the strength of the invader, but with its remains exposed under the same sky it never feared. The body that advanced in pride is no longer a body of conquest. It is a warning left visible. A man stares at the torn ground and sees what power looks like after Allah has finished with it. The valley is no longer a road. It is a place of aftermath. Before tonight ends, name one small warning you keep treating as trivial, and change one act while the jar is still clear and the sky above you is still empty.